Hello everybody, I read my first Colleen Hoover book, so I will be reviewing it and telling you what I think. I know this is not one of her like one of the books more in her style, but either way, it's the book that spoke most to me, I guess. So yeah, I read Verity by Colleen Hoover. I'm just gonna read the blurb and then I'm gonna put a timestamp if you don't want any spoilers. I'll put a non-spoiler review in the end, so I'll put a timestamp before the spoiler review so you don't have to know the spoilers. So yeah, I'm first just gonna read the blurb. Lowen Ashley is a struggling writer on the brink of financial ruin when she accepts the job offer of a lifetime. Jeremy Crawford, husband of best-selling author Verity Crawford, has hired Lowen to complete the remaining books in a successful series his injured wife is unable to finish. Lowen arrives at the Crawford home ready to sort through years of Verity's notes and outlines, hoping to find enough material to get her started. What Lowen doesn't expect to uncover in the chaotic office is an unfinished autobiography Verity never intended for anyone to read. Page after page of bone-chilling admissions, including Verity's recollection of the night her family was forever altered. Lowen decides to keep the manuscript hidden from Jeremy, knowing its contents could devastate the already grieving father. But as Lowen's feelings for Jeremy begin to intensify, she recognizes all the ways she could benefit if he were to read his wife's words. After all, no matter how devoted Jeremy is to his injured wife, a truth this horrifying would make it impossible for him to continue loving her. So I'm going to put the timestamp on screen now for the non-spoiler review, and I'm just going to do the spoiler review now. So yeah. It's a pretty good blurb in terms of like what the book's about, I think. I don't know how to feel about this book. Like, first of all, I went into the book thinking it was a romance, which it's not. It is a thriller, and after I realized that, it got better because I was focusing on it being a romance because that's what I'm used to, at least from what I've heard of Colleen Hoover. Like, she's more well known for romance books, so I guess I didn't expect a thriller. But yeah, it was a thriller. It also says it on top. It says a thriller that will keep you up all night and a twist that will leave you reeling. So like, okay, I could have read that and realized it, but I didn't, so that was my fault. I do enjoy, the book is kind of split up in terms of chapters, so you have just Lowen's perspective, and then sometimes when she reads the manuscript, you can actually read the manuscript, not just what she read, like in her words, you actually read the manuscript. So I think that was really nice. It took me quite a long time to finish this book, even though like the letters are so big and there's not even that many pages, so I don't know why it took me so long. I've also been kind of in a reading slump, so yeah, that might be one of the things that added to it. But yeah, I'm never ever a fan of like cheating tropes or just cheating in general. So as soon as she was still into Jeremy, even though she saw a wedding ring, I was like, I don't like you. I think Lowen is the character in this whole book I hate most, which is the main character, which is why it's quite annoying to read it. Also, I didn't trust Jeremy for some reason. Well, he did try to kill his wife and eventually killed her. Yeah, the twist, it turns out that the manuscript was all fake. It was all fiction. It was Verity's way of getting into the mind of a psychopath, which is what her books are all about. They're like written from the villain's perspective. So she had to get into that mindset, and she did that by twisting her own experiences into it like being from a villain's perspective. But they only found that out, well, Lowen only found that out after they already killed Verity. And we don't know which is true. If the manuscript is true, or if the letter that she wrote about it being fake is true. So it's kind of annoying that you don't know. It is kind of worrying me though that like what. Well, I also get it because I'm like, why wouldn't Verity have just told some? Well, she did tell like her son, Crew, but he was 5, so that's not gonna help much. But like she could have told maybe like a doctor just at the hospital, like, please help me, my husband tried to kill me, I need help. And before she even started faking it for like however long. That's crazy. I also don't really understand the timelines because I thought Verity's accident was way after Harper died, but apparently it was pretty close, I guess. I don't know, that kind of confuses me. I don't know, I feel like there was just a lot of plot holes where I was like, this could have been explored more and had some clarifications. So, I don't know. It is kind of interesting because, yeah, I don't know. I feel like Lowen is kind of also the bad guy because she did just cheat, like make Jeremy cheat, kind of. Jeremy, I don't trust him. He's too like smooth. He's like, I never felt anything for Verity, but in this coffee shop I met a random woman and I felt more than I've ever felt for her. I'm like, that's so weird, first of all, and also so random, and I don't know, I don't like it. I just grabbed the review I wrote on Goodreads because I already finished this book 2 days ago and my memory sucks, so I already forgot everything I thought about it. That was a weird sound. So yeah, I hated pretty much every single character in this book. There's not one character where I was like, oh, they seem nice. None of them. They all seemed like absolute assholes. Yeah, I didn't like Lowen. She was just, I don't know, she was kind of annoying. Also, there was like this whole big deal about her being like sleepwalking and that being dangerous. It happened once. It was like, there were so many like starts of something that could have been like really bad or really whatever, and it wasn't really touched on further. So that kind of confused me. Like for example, the basement, I felt like there was something gonna happen, but it didn't. The sleepwalking could have been something like actual big. I feel like Crew seemed a little bit messed up in the head, so he could have, something could have been done there. I don't know, I feel like there's a lot missing, and a lot of it's, I don't know, it's kind of the same. It's weird. I'm also personally not a fan of the, for example, in horror games where you like, when you look away from, usually it's like a doll or something, and it moves. I hate that. And that was kind of what this book was, because not every time, but when Lowen looked away, Verity would maybe move, which was a little scary. I don't like that. There were some parts in this book in general where I actually felt like, oh damn, something big is gonna happen, but it didn't. It wasn't like that big of like a scare. It's kind of a mild thriller. I think this, like the concept of the book could have been so scary, but it was kind of downplayed. I don't know. I gave it 3 stars, but I think I might give it 2.5, which you can on Goodreads, so I'm giving it a 3rd, just to be nice. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna read another Colleen Hoover book, because this has, and people say this is her best book. A lot of people, I think a lot of people have said that this is her best book, and I didn't like it, so I don't think I'm gonna read another one. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan. The writing style is okay, it's not beautiful, but it works. But yeah, it wasn't really special. It wasn't anything that I'm like, ooh, I really want to read this again or want to read something else by the writer, which happens sometimes. I'm like, this writer is so good, I need to read another one, like V. Schwab or Ellie Hazelwood. I love them. Like, they're just good writers. Colleen Hoover doesn't interest me. So, yeah. No, that's my opinion, I guess. Well, I don't think I can give like a full opinion on Colleen Hoover because this is a thriller and she usually writes romance, so maybe I'll try that. I don't know. I've also heard a lot of bad things about it, so I'm a little conflicted. But yeah, this one, it was average. It wasn't great. It was, I feel like it could have been good. The concept was really good. The execution, a little bit less, which is disappointing. I think it could have been really good, but so many things just weren't touched upon, and the ending was kind of, like, it was open, which I think it was the point, but kind of pissed me off, because I was like, I kind of want to know what the truth is, so yeah, I don't know. So I just don't like Lowen or Jeremy. Jeremy seems annoying. I don't know. I didn't like him. I didn't like any of them. But yeah, I did, for some reason, still enjoy the book. I think because there was some suspense moments that were like, okay, this is good, but then it fell down a big hole of nothingness. So yeah, I'm gonna do the non-spoiler review right now. I am not the biggest fan of this book. I also didn't hate it. I think it was a really average book. I would not have cared if I hadn't read it. I don't think I'm missing anything in life by not, like, if I hadn't read this book. But I think it also proved to me that I am not a Colleen Hoover fan, and I don't necessarily need to read another one of her books. I'm not hating, it's just, it's not my style. I think there were a lot of not plot holes, more like beginnings of storylines that could have added a lot to the story, but they didn't really get touched upon further, which I think would have made it better. I didn't like the characters, which I think was also kind of the point. I don't think you're supposed to like the characters, because I don't think there are really thrillers where you like the characters. So usually characters in thrillers are hated, so it makes sense. But yeah, 2.5 stars. It was very average. I really liked the concept of the book. It was just the execution was a little bit mid, honestly. Yeah. It was, yeah, I don't really know what to say. Didn't really enjoy it that much. There were some parts that I did enjoy, but overall I was like, okay, this was kind of disappointing. At the end I was like, alright, but okay, I guess. So yeah, that was my review. It's not gonna be as long as usual because I honestly don't really have much to say about this book. I don't think I'm gonna read another Colleen Hoover book because it didn't really interest me. The writing style wasn't as captivating as some of the other writers I like, so yeah, this was it. I am glad I tried it though, but it isn't my style. I might try a romance of hers because it is more her style, I think, but we shall see. I don't know. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment if I should read another Colleen Hoover book. If you know any that you're like, you have to read this, it's so much different, it's so much better, whatever, please let me know. Subscribe, please, thank you. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, I appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.